Annalise, good morning to you. To talk a little more on that, this question of overreaction. So it turns out that one was a legitimate balloon collecting intelligence. 3 more just turned out to be private weather balloons that were conducting research. To put things into perspective here, an F-22 plane that shot them down is worth about $220 million to take down a private balloon. So, a fair enough question, isn't it? Wasn't an overreaction. What do you think?
Well, certainly an overcorrection was the suggestion originally when it was so different, the subsequent 3, and that they happened in such quick succession. But you do have to take everything that's been put forward with a grain of salt, especially when this has become such a highly politicized issue in the United States. The fact we're seeing the president come out and address this so far after the fact, considering the first spy balloon was shot down on February 4, shows that the political pressure isn't abating. What he said is that they've loosened the radar settings, and so now they're picking up more of these issues, and it looks like they're potentially overreacting was the question there, but I would say more overcorrecting. They let the first balloon go on too long. They're facing the political fire for that, and now they're going the other direction and shooting down what they say is small weather balloons. There's no reason to disbelieve that, especially when that's been the briefings that so many senators have been backgrounding from their own private briefings on Capitol Hill in the last few weeks, saying, look, we think they really were just smaller balloons. But this does still point broadly to 2 issues. Firstly, that the Chinese have implemented this broad spy balloon program that does seem to be targeting the Indo-Pacific in particular. And when they say the original spy balloon originated in Hainan. And then the other issue is just how they regulate airspace generally. So the first spy balloon, they've said now 65,000 feet is where it was sitting, which is prime spot for it. But this is very unregulated when we're coming into a new era of more drones being used in tactical ways. And then, of course, balloons now. That this isn't settled area of law. And so that's something Joe Biden there mentioned as well, that they were going to start looking at having more international norms around regulating that. Commercial airlines go around 30,000 feet. I mean, if you think of your own homes, you don't own the space above it, and there's no actual settled law for how much you own above it. And so there's really a lot of work that needs to be done on that front. But this is certainly an issue he's had to respond to because Americans are concerned.
I just feel sorry for the tinfoil hats out there, Annalise, who are hoping for a little bit more than a private weather balloon. Something I found interesting, though, towards the end, and I'm just going to have to go back and have a look at this because he did mention that he's got a meeting with Xi Jinping coming up. When is that scheduled to take place? No doubt to ease things again.
Look, that's been on the cards for a while, and that was supposed to be the precursor trip for Antony Blinken heading over to China. Was supposed to be laying the groundwork for that. And so this has been one of the issues now, that the original spy balloon caused that to be called off. They've said there again in the briefing today that communications are still open with China, but there's no set date for when this meeting is going to take place again, if indeed it will. You can all but assume it will at some point because they are working to de-escalate tensions, but who knows what is going to be the thing that brings this to a head. I mean, this isn't the first time they've had an issue like this. A US plane had to make an emergency landing in Hainan in 2001 because of issues that it experienced when it was on its own spy mission. And that turned into an international diplomatic incident, which basically ended with the US putting out a kind of non-apology. And it wasn't until after the Chinese had gone through and stolen everything they possibly could out of that plane. So I think this is just the beginning of what's going to be a long diplomatic challenge for Biden.
Sure. All right, Annalise, we'll chat to you again soon. Thank you.